one of the most talked about trading strategies out there is actually the break and retest trading strategy. Now, break and retest is one of the oldest and most profitable price action trading strategy that has been around for decades now. And one question I keep getting from people who watch my old videos about this strategy is simply, does this strategy still works? Whether this strategy works or not, we are actually going to find it out today in this video. Because in this video, I'm going to walk you through every single thing you need to know as a total beginner before you start trading the break and retest strategy. Now, how this strategy works is basically simple. The first thing is simply the market creates a support and resistance level like this. Here support, here resistance. Now, basically, the market tries breaking each of this level. It comes back, plays around, touch this level, goes back or plays around, comes back here, comes here. And basically, and finally, it breaks out of the level. Now, for those trading the strategy, this is what we need. Once the market breaks out of either the support or the resistance level, now in this situation, it breaks out of the resistance level, which is the upmost side. Now, once it breaks out, the next thing we'll look at first, if we wait for this market to come back to retest this particular level that it broke out from, then we wait for a bullish close in the direction. Since the market broke the resistance area and it comes back to retest, it basically means that the market is set for the buy side. So basically, once it tests it, you basically go in for a buy, and then boom, the market eventually trades back up. Now, this is basically how the breakout trading strategy works. So basically, as the market breaks out like this, we take our entry from here. When it comes back to retest here becomes our entry. And in most cases, our stop loss comes right behind the level like this. And we target this next high as our take profit. And this is basically how the breakout and retest strategy actually looks like. Now, this can happen both for the resistance side, which is the buying side, and also for the support side, which is the selling side. Now, before we get onto the main chart, we start using the real chart to do the analytics like I normally do for you all. Help me do the YouTube business by smashing on that subscribe button, and let's give a shout out to our sponsors for today.
So guys, before we proceed, let's give a big shout out to our today's sponsor, lightfinance.org. Lightfinance is one of the best trading platforms out there, boasting over 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, which means that they are highly positive and users have positive view of them. And they offer one of the best and easiest trading platforms out there as well. So basically, when you come over here, you have access to MetaTrader 4 and 5, CTrader, so forth and so on. And they offer some of the best spread, which is as little as 0.0 spread for some trading pairs, and also has the fastest execution when it comes to trading. On top of that, they offer over 600 trading pairs ranging from forex, stock, commodities, cryptos, and so forth and so on. And to top it all up, it's even advisable for non-good traders to actually use, as they offer copy trading, which is a way for you to actually make profit without having to know how to trade. All you basically have to do is simply copy already profitable trade on their platform from other profitable traders, and you can basically be making profit on autopilot.
So guys, now that we are back onto our chart, now for those of you looking for prop firms to actually trade with, I recommend Blueberry Funded, which is the prop firm I personally use, and you can also sign up to them. Just as Light Finance, the link will be there in this video description and also in the pinned comment. You can go sign up to Light Finance or Blueberry Funded. If you need a prop firm, Blueberry Funded. If you need a broker, Light Finance. Now guys, now that aside, let's get down to business. Now let me just reset here. Now, so here is a typical chart that we have of GBP AUD. Now, this is Great Britain pounds versus Australian dollar. Now, when it comes to trading the breakout and retest strategy, the method is basically simple. The first thing is simply we identify a support level. Now, taking a look at this chart from here becomes our support, which is the lowest part that the market actually tested recently. And for the resistance, here becomes our resistance. Now, let me adjust it. Okay, here becomes our resistance. Now, what we look for to trade this market is basically wait for the market to break out of the level, comes back to retest the level, and gives us a bullish close. Then we go in for it. Now, let's take a look at this market as a typical example. The market broke out here, came back, and then retested it, and then gave us a bullish close. Now, if you look at it, the first bullish close we got was actually here. Now, if this bullish close was here, what we basically do is simply we come in here and then set our entry at the top of this bullish close. Our stop loss, most of the times I always advise you keep your stop loss close to this previous week that the market printed. So you can either keep it below it or keep it exactly as it. Now, once you set your stop loss like this, my advice is basically let the stop loss be below the level. Now, the next thing is basically you target a 1:2 minimum. Now, if you are targeting a 1:2, you can see this high exactly gave you 1:2. Now, here you have 1:2. So you basically extend it. Now, if you took this position before, it would have hit CP. Now, basically, these are the break and retest strategy works. It works for both the selling side and the buying side. And now with this one here, now we can actually mark out another support and resistance again from this same chart. Now, this old resistance now, it became a support. If you mark out here like this, now becomes a support level. And you can see the market still broke out of it, came back to retest it again. And the same thing, the moment it came back to retest, you could have taken your buy from here. And then your stop loss, as I always say, the previous week the market created, here is it. Keep your stop loss below it as usual, like this. And then you target 1:2. You see, you would have also gotten it here. And one thing I love about this strategy is that it doesn't just work on one time frame. It works on every single time frame that you can think of. Whether you're going for normal 30 minutes, which is my favorite time frame, you're going for 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 1 second. This formation is always printed in the market over and over again. And we can see that clearly the market is printing similar level again, as you can see from here. The market has printed another level right here. So basically, you wait for this market to come retest here, give you a bullish close, and then you basically take it. Now, if you decide to go back in time, you are going to see where this market has printed this over and over again multiple times. Now, basically, this is simply how this strategy works. No much complication, simple and straightforward. Now, let's take a look at a different market. So let me look at GBP card. So for me, I trade more of GBP pairs. You can see this one here as well. Market broke out, came back to retest. Now here is it. Basically, now I don't like complicating my trading strategies. That's why I said I go straight to practicals. Now here is this last week. You mark it. Keep your stop loss behind it. And boom, you are basically good to go. And currently, you can see the market is trying to make similar footprint again. And this one, you'd have easily gotten 1:4. Now you go to a different market. Basically for me, for those of you who've been watching my videos for a long time, I trade more of GBP pairs because my country time actually aligns with the British market opening time. So basically, I think that's one reason why I'm kind of cool with it. So you can basically look at the market and you're going to see this formation over and over again being created multiple times endlessly. Now here's one thing you must know when you're trading this support and resistance and breakout strategy. Whenever the market comes and they break out of a level, like for example, let me say the market actually, let me just get an outline. Maybe here is a support, right? Let me send it upward. And here becomes your resistance. And let me say the market is ranging here. Now, never should you make any attempt by placing a trade whilst the market is still moving in this manner. Always wait for the market to break out. And when the market breaks out at first, make sure not to enter the market as well. If the market just broke out and that is the first attempt the market is making to break out of the level, please and please do not get into that trade. Patiently wait for this market to come back and retest here. The retest is 100% very important. Now, whenever the market comes back to retest here, you don't go in until it gives you a bullish close, confirming that what, yes, you cannot go in and reversing back upward. Now, the reason why you don't have to enter on the first breakout is simple. So many times it's a fake breakout, meaning the market will break out and then when it reverses back, it's going to sweep your SL. And in some situation, it might not even go far before it reverses. In some situation, you might experience things like it breaks out, comes back, break out, come like this, then it breaks out. Then when you get in, then boom, it falls back in immediately. Or at times it breaks out like this. Let me just take something like it breaks out like this, and you get in immediately. Then it comes back in before it finally does a final break. Then come back to retouch it again. Now for this for this same reason, this is why you don't have to get in on the first break card where you basically wait for the second bounce back. So basically, it breaks out, comes back to retest it, then you basically go in on that retest. As long as there's no retest, please and please make sure you don't enter that market. And here's another thing you must take note of. Make sure that whatever area you're entering the market is a open level. Now, what I mean by open level is basically in this manner. Let me say you have a support, you have a resistance here, you have a support here, and then the market also had a previous resistance here. Now, in this situation, maybe there was an old resistance backwards, and maybe it happened maybe just last week. So for that reason, let me say the market is trading between this new area that it is created. So now let me give you a typical printout. Maybe there was an old resistance over here that the market has been respecting. If the market has had this old resistance that it's respecting, now for some reasons, maybe it eventually broke out and then came back to this support and then it created this new support you are seeing this week. Now in this case, maybe the market then break out of this level and then trade until it gets to this resistance, then it bounce back from this resistance to retest here. In this situation, don't go in. The reason I shouldn't go in because if the market is bouncing off from a previous resistance, there is a high chance that it's going to continue downwards. Now, for this kind of reason, you don't step into this sort of market. So the only time you get into a market when it breaks out and retests is when there is no opposing support or resistance level at this curve. As long as the level is not free, don't go in. Like if you come over to our GBP AUD setup here, now you see, you can see all these places are open for all these trades. So you can see all these sides are open. The only time you are going to get an obstacle is when we go way back in July and we're already in deep August. Now, not even in July, I'm not going to get anything actually. See, the levels we're trading were actually clean level. Now you can see the only time there will be a level is 21st. This level was created when it wasn't even a strong level, but it was created July 21st. 21st July to what is today's date? This is basically 17th of August. That's almost a month over, so you can actually trade this one. That's why I see that what this, as long as you don't have open levels here created the previous week before the week you are taking the trade, then you need to be very cautious. So always look out for open levels before you take this sort of trade. Now, this is one thing a lot of beginners into this strategy don't know that always get them hooked. When they come, they just want to trade wherever thing that they come across. Once they see a level, they come across it, they take it as simple as that. But the truth is that doing this way will actually get into a lot of unnecessary SL. So in order to avoid this unnecessary SL, make sure that you are not trading against a previous resistance level that was just created last week. Make sure there's an open space for you to actually trade within. So guys, this is basically how this support and resistance breakout and retest strategy works. It's very simple and straightforward. You just have to implement every single thing. Now, just as the way we mark it for the buying side, it also happens for the sell side as well. You just have to be observant, look at the market, and then you are going to spot trading opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities with this strategy. You just have to be vigilant on the spotting. And the truth is that it's not a 100% win rate strategy. You are still going to hit some SLs once in a while. You can't actually predict the market 1,000 times and get it correctly. You will surely fail some. But the truth is that the ones you win will actually give you a decent reward as compared to the ones you fail. So guys, this is basically all I have for you in this video. So if you're a trader, make sure you use Light Finance, which is one of our favorite broker that I'm personally using, and they are sponsoring these videos that I have for you. And if you're looking for a prop firm that you can actually trust, then go for Blueberry Funded. My favorite. I've used them. I've gotten payout from them. And both links will be that in this video description. So see you in my next video. Bye.